Unironically, DanDaDan episode 10 might be my favorite episode of the series thus far. And I think that's because of how much it sticks out compared to the rest. Every other episode combines action with the eccentric weird world that DanDaDan is placed in. And episode 10 just goes to show you that while you will get action more times than not, this shit will always get weird. There's no greater evil to fight, there's not a single punch thrown in episode 10, it's just another day. And I love it. It picks up right where number 9 leaves off. Momo, Okarun, and Aira are currently in the nurse's office getting new clothes after being blasted out of an alternate dimension fighting aliens while battling the Loch Ness Monster. You don't know how hard that was to say in one go, oh my god. The school nurse just wants to know if they're being bullied, and they assure her they're not. Also, speaking of the school nurse, I believe that someone should contact HR because... What is this? There are children present! But on to the current issues, one being the entire school saw them butt-ass naked, and two being that the aliens seem to keep coming back. Okarun tells Momo and Aira that the aliens did mention wanting to dissect him and study Turbo Granny's power. On top of that, Aira now has acrobatic Silky's power, so more than likely, she's on their list as well. They are going to dissect her and find no brain, I swear. But then Momo raises a question: if they're after yokai, why not dissect and study yokai directly? At this, Okarun has a realization. Aliens should have more than enough technology to conquer or destroy the planet. However, they can't. Every single place on Earth has some sort of spirit or monster folklore. Assuming that those are true just as yokai in Japan are true, aliens cannot come to Earth because there are too many monsters and spirits guarding it indirectly, which is why their target of choice are supernatural humans. There's also a chance that in trying to study it, the aliens are in possession of Okarun's right testicle. I told you this shit get weird. With that mystery solved, we move on to the second problem. Being butt-ass naked in front of the whole school. Aira is straight up like, yo Momo, I'm not gonna lie. You aggressively told me to take my clothes off back there. Therefore, I'm gonna tell the whole school you made me do it. And Momo's like, fuck it, I guess. To be honest, Okarun is the only one with a real problem with it, but Momo just wants to know what him and Aira were doing behind the school. And I'm not gonna lie to you, he's about to lose his dick again, but not to Turbo Granny. Okarun calmly tells her that he wasn't trying to kiss her, she tried to kiss him, and he was just working out. Yes, sir, my boy living like Larry. He wasn't doing anything bad, he just wanted Momo to think he was cool. A sentiment that Momo really appreciates. Just look at that face. I don't care what y'all say, that's game right there. That is game right there. And bro, right before they leave, her friends bust in trying to figure out what happened, right? And while they managed to guess that both Momo and Aira like Okarun, the way that they assumed that they settled it was in nude gladiator combat. And I only find that funny because that is more realistic and grounded than what actually happened. Cut back to Aira and she's in the middle of class getting comforted because, well, everyone loves her. They imagine that whatever happened, it couldn't have been Aira's fault, so she doesn't even have to defend herself at first. They immediately assume that Momo has to have something to do with it. After all, Aira already began to spread rumors about her before. However, Aira chooses to actually come clean, telling everyone else that not only did Momo do nothing this time, but before she was lying. She knows that what she did was wrong and that Momo needs to be left alone, and then she exits the room. And it definitely wasn't easy because she was in that courtyard pissed at herself. She actually runs into Momo, who can just tell that she didn't lie like she said she was going to. Is Aira an asshole? Yes, but she's not a shitty one. And then, in a surprise, they actually also run into the boxer mantis shrimp hitman from before. You know I live for sentences like those. Aira and Momo prepare for a fight, but he's still injured from their previous one. And so everyone meets up and takes him back to Momo's. And to his surprise, they actually took proper care of him and made him a meal. He falls to his knees and thanks them, saying that he won't attack them ever again. Later he explains why he does what he does. His son is ill. Whenever he defecates, he bleeds, and it's so bad that his wife died from the same sickness. His home is a war zone, so as a result, he can't get a job to pay for his son's medical needs. The majority of his planet is quite strong, so they make for good mercenaries for hire. But since he's overall not as strong as the rest of them, he tends to work worse jobs, working for criminals and such. He feels horrible, his wife is gone, his son is constantly worried and sick. He feels like a failure. Really, he's not a bad person, he's just a struggling single father. That's depressing. There's no joke here. It just makes me genuinely depressed. That man. And of course, Okarun's first thought, to offer his shmeat. And I want to call him weird for it, but if we look at the records, can you blame him? But Momo goes, no, he doesn't need meat, he needs money. Without consistent income, he can't pay for his son's needs. He agrees and decides to move on, feeling depressed. But that's when Granny Seiko gives him the best news he's ever received, that he smells like absolute shit. Rather, the blood in his bandages does, and it smells familiar. Turns out the blood of his species is 1-to-1 with cow's milk. That's why he smells so bad, and that's why his blood is that thick white substance. Oh, thank God. I can keep my monetization. Pasteurized milk is a little diluted, but thankfully Granny Seiko knows a dairy farmer. And so they give him a cow to have infinite milk to save his son. And dog, just look at the shot. I fucking love this shit, man. And I think that's the thing. Episode 7 of DanDaDan is my favorite because it's so peculiar that it reminds me that at the heart of everything is its world. With other series, downtime can feel like a waste of time, but here, it's used as an opportunity to explore and indulge in our characters. DanDaDan understands that not every conflict is about a fight. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding or a personal struggle that follows us, and they feel just as legitimate as any other battle. Or race for a nutsack. So yes, DanDaDan is a battle shonen, but it's a battle shonen that never forgets what it's about. People.